Hello, Seiiti Arata. Does exposing yourself to the internet help or hinder you when it comes to getting a new job or having a salary raise? You must have heard the advice that you should be careful with your exposure on the internet, that you should take care of your privacy, or that you should not make your life public. But you can use your exposure on the internet positively as a kind of a showcase for your best work, as an extension of your resume. And at the same time, you need to learn not to improperly publish content that you may end up regretting later. Thus, you can increase your salary, you can get a new job, you can be more valued in your profession. It is possible to use your exposure on the internet strategically to have benefits in your professional career. But for that, you must think about the results of searching your name on the internet in a very strategic way. You should expose yourself on the internet to raise your value as a professional. Being on the internet is how you become relevant in your professional area. When you want to buy something, what do you usually do? If you are like most people, you open your browser and then you search the internet for that item. You open some search results, you look at the prices, you read the reviews of people who bought that thing. Then you use that information to decide whether or not to buy and where to buy that item. Just like you do this to buy an item, companies and consumers also search the internet when they want to find a professional. When they are opening a selection process, the human resources professionals are not just receiving the resumes and doing interviews. At some point during their selection process, you can be sure that searches about your name will be done. And there's nothing wrong with that. The company that seeks to hire a professional, they want to know what is being said about that person on the internet, what that person has been publishing, and what they make public on social networks, for example. Now, imagine the following scenario. A selection process went through the resume analysis phase. Now the interview phase has approved 3 final candidates for a vacancy. The 3 people have more or less the same qualities and weaknesses. Then the person in charge of the recruitment now is searching the internet with these 3 names. The first candidate has basically nothing on the internet, has no profiles on social networks, has not posted anything anywhere. There's nothing good or bad to be read about that person. The second candidate has open profiles on social networks in which the recruiter can find personal photos, leisure, and family photos. But there is nothing actually about the professional life of that candidate. Now, the third candidate, on the other hand, has a profile with a well-built resume on LinkedIn, has a YouTube channel where he shows the results of some works has already done, and there's also a blog where they publish some articles about his professional area. Now, which one of these candidates do you think would be the one most likely to win the job? The best way to protect your privacy is to control publications about your name. Staying off the internet is no longer an option. The main argument of those who say that you should not expose yourself on the internet is due to the issue of privacy. These arguments claim that you should not be publishing your personal life on the internet to maintain your anonymity. The point is that if you decide to stay off the internet, you won't be able to control what they publish about you, nor you will be visible for future opportunities. Your name will not appear as an option in recruitment processes. It will not appear in a possible source for interviews to the press, and also you will not be called to go to certain events of your professional group. And that is why you need to optimize the results by searching for your name. The ideal thing is to have results related to certificates and courses and reports and commissions and associations you belong to, opinions and articles you publish, and everything else that can enrich your curriculum and improve your image. This can be done either using specific websites such as LinkedIn and ResearchGate or GitHub, or taking care of your publications on social networks and comments on websites in your niche and news sites in general. Take over the searches for your name. Expose your qualities to those who are looking for you. Let's do an experiment right now. Pause this video and do a Google search for your name. You can do it now. So what did you find? Are these search results about you or about other people with a similar name? Do the results about you show your qualities or your weak points? If you would be a company looking to know more about your professional behavior, what impressions would you have? What image are these results giving you as a professional? See, what you need to do is pretty similar to what we call SEM, search engine marketing. This is a marketing modality that seeks to improve the search engine results. So in your personal case, the search results page on your name should be dominated by yourself. Your professional profile should be appearing on LinkedIn, your blog, your personal website, your YouTube channel. There should be interviews that you gave to the press or events that you participated in, and publications, articles that you wrote. This can be done if you intentionally decide to expose yourself more on the internet. And when we talk about exposing yourself, of course, this does not mean to be exposing your personal life or your intimacy or your opinions on controversial topics that have nothing to do with your profession, but exposing your professional profile, the jobs that you did, the difference that you bring to the world. When you intentionally decide to expose yourself more on the internet, you can strategically maximize your qualities and also minimize your weak points. You should think about everything you would like to include in your resume and make sure that whenever your name is searched for, the information that benefits you will show up. This must be a strategic job. For example, let's say that you took a course in some type of an institute that does not really have a very good website, a well-positioned website on search engines. How can you bring this information positively on the internet? You can write an article to publish on your blog or on third-party websites. You could be saying that you went to this institute, that you took this training, that you learned such and such thing. You can post photos on your social networks at the institute, or using what you learned at the institute, you can make a slideshow. You can record a video explaining what you have learned, and you can post that on sites such as YouTube or SlideShare. In addition, when you're going to make a publication or an article about your professional area of expertise, at least you have to study a little bit to be sure what you're talking about. Teaching is proven to be one of the best ways to learn. Even if no one sees your publications at the beginning, just the fact that you are preparing these publications already contributes to making you a better professional. And if you don't know what kind of content to create, you can simply be documenting your own learning journey. And as a result, you can be sure you're going to be receiving more job offers for better jobs. With these proposals, you can ask for a better salary using all the techniques that we teach you in the Double Your Salary course. Or you can simply switch jobs and explore new opportunities. You must expose yourself strategically. The better your exposure on the internet, the better your professional opportunities. A few centuries ago, when cities were small and the means of communication were not evolved, everybody kind of knew what you're doing. People in town knew that Alice was a doctor, that Daniel was a lawyer, that there was this engineer named Gabriel. At that point, you could say there was very little privacy. And then, when cities grew, that kind of knowledge was lost. If someone wants to look for a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, they'll probably look for that person on the internet. Even if they receive a recommendation, hey, you can call this person, people will probably still search the professional on the internet before getting in touch with them. So you may be losing money and professional opportunities when you're deciding to not make a strategic exposure of yourself on the internet. Of course, we're not talking that you need to have millions of subscribers on your YouTube channel or have a popular blog or become a digital influencer. What you need is simply to appear in relevant searches in your area of work, in your location, and with your name. You don't even have to worry about it so much. If you make quality publications with your name in your area of expertise, you can be sure that social media network and search engines, they will know how to use the algorithms to show your publications to the relevant people close to you. This type of controlled exposure can even be the beginning of new professional opportunities. See, in many management and executive positions, companies like to hire professionals who are well recognized in their area of expertise. The opportunities are many, and they will only be available to those who lose their fear of exposure and decide to be more present on the network in a controlled manner. Even with all the problems that only those who expose themselves on the internet know, the benefits of having a controlled and strategic exposure on the internet far outweigh the harm. And for that, all you have to do is to be willing to learn how to improve your communication, your personal marketing, using efficient techniques of negotiation and promotion. You can start today to put yourself on the internet. You have already done a search with your name. Very nice. Now start thinking about how you can dominate the search results page. Start analyzing your social networks with the eyes of a human resources recruiter. And once you have a better presence, you can use the techniques that are taught in the Double Your Salary course to get better pay in your company. If you want to see a special class on how you can find out exactly what to do to get promoted and receive higher salaries, you can visit arata.se/DYS right now.